Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith. Welcome to week 2 of The Bachelorette. They say for a woman, sometimes you gotta kiss a few frogs before you get to your prince. That is unless you're JoJo, and then you just have to kiss everybody. It's so interesting. The first week of The Bachelor is kind of like the first day of school. People are coming all dressed up, all prim and proper. Check out my new lunchbox. And everyone's being on their best behavior. JoJo kissed 2 guys, one of them which she regretted. This week she pretty much seemed to kiss everybody. And the only people regretting it were the ones not getting a kiss. Now this all started with a group date where several of the guys went out with JoJo and they got to play firefighter for the day. For most of them it was fine. They got to show off their masculinity. Not so much for Wells. You see, Wells wasn't really built to be a firefighter, and as much as he comes off as being a nice guy, between carrying all the heavy equipment and the heat itself, it seemed to get to him, and he wasn't able to complete it. But the good thing about being Wells was while he was having a bit of a heat stroke and we weren't sure if he was okay, wouldn't you know, our Bachelorette went and got to sit and spend some time with him, much to the envy of all the other guys. Now Grant, one of the brothers that's still left on the show, ended up winning the challenge, and thank God, because he's actually a firefighter. I mean, quite frankly, if Grant hadn't won the challenge, he'd have to second guess what he's doing with his life. Now, of course, back at the house, wouldn't you know, all the guys are getting together, and now they're like this barbershop group, not quartet because there's more than 4 of them, and they're singing like a JoJo song. No, I don't mean a song by that star who came out with Leave, Get Out. I mean, they're just singing songs like with her name in the title, oh JoJo, and it was just very weird. Weird in the sense of I'm all for random singing, but it just seemed like a weird harmonization of just her name, so it just didn't seem to make any sense. And it was one of the 2 times tonight that I actually agreed with Chad. We'll get to that in a moment. So, anyways. One of the themes that seemed to carry on throughout tonight's episode was JoJo kept asking these guys, well, tell me about your previous relationship. Tell me about your previous relationship. And I think that's kind of crazy. I can't recall ever being on a first date with somebody and saying, wow, now that we're sitting down here, tell me about your previous relationship. You kind of like want to move to the future and not kind of talk about what's going on in their past. At least not on a first date. Anyway, so I thought that was particularly interesting. So the second group date saw the men heading to ESPN, where they had the opportunity of going through a variety of different events. One being where they had to go and propose, or like fake propose to JoJo. Well, Chad wasn't having any of it. He basically came out and said, hey, listen, I don't know you yet. I can't say if I'm in love with you yet. And I'm not going to kiss up to you like all these other guys do. Of course, everyone's like, whoa, what's going on here? He even went to call her a nag. Called her a nag in front of national TV. Now, you would think, how dare you say this to the Bachelorette? We have seen seasons in the past where if you cross the Bachelorette, you be gone. Not so with JoJo. JoJo and the panel seemed to respect his honesty. And it wasn't too long before they were locking lips. And of course, as the show came to its conclusion, Chad was getting a rose. Now, Chad did something very interesting tonight. He sat back and he said, listen, all these guys are kissing up to you, going on about how much they love you. I don't know you yet. I can't do that. And while his delivery was questionable, he made valid points. You go and you think back to all these seasons of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. After the first episode, when people go home, what do you usually see? People going out to the limousine, crying, sad. Oh, my heart's broken. This is the person that I could have spent the rest of my life with. I can't believe it's over. And you think to yourself, but you didn't know them. I mean, it's all well and good for me to call JoJo an alien, but I don't know her. If I was on the show and I got sent home, well, c'est la vie. I don't know her. And Chad actually shouldn't say pretty much. Chad did a very good job of bringing that to light. Again, delivery, not exactly the Midas touch, but totally on point. So the interesting thing is that Chad is like the ratings magnet, because there are a lot of nice guys and a lot of what seem to be decent guys on the show, and then you get this guy who's just not here to make friends, pretty much alienating people, being rude, and he's going to be around for a while. I didn't understand towards the end of the show where the guys were all upset what are you doing talking to JoJo? It's kind of what he's there for. He didn't sign up because he wanted to make, 20 new guy friends. He went on the show because he wanted to meet a woman. So it's kind of one of those things where he's going to do everything he can to stand out to that woman. So of course we've seen seasons before. This will probably end with tears and heartbreak and, oh my God, how do I get over Chad? But it'll be entertaining for the next several weeks that he's on the show anyways. So tonight we said goodbye to the hipster. He went home. We said goodbye to the huge guy that's a big Bachelor fan. And then we said goodbye to another guy who I really don't know who he was. For those of you keeping track, the black guy count is, yep, there it is. It's at 2. So we did not lose any brothers this week. We've got a pool going to see when the last one will go. I'm saying week 4. Anyways, all in all, very entertaining episode. I particularly like the press conference aspect of it. I thought that was fun where they had like a little press conference when they were at ESPN and asking them different questions. I thought that was fun. I have a question for all of the ladies that are watching this. So we had a huge debate tonight in regards to body language. We noticed that there were times where JoJo was crossing her leg towards the guy that she was talking to, and then we're noticing that there were some times where she was crossing her leg away from the guy. I want to know, is there any sort of correlation between the way a woman crosses her leg towards or away from a guy, or is it just her level of comfort? Now, I know that a lot of times people watch these blogs, they don't comment on them. We live in a very voyeuristic society, I get it. But if you could please kindly comment on that, I would love to know. Anyways, very interesting episode. We got 2 episodes coming up next week, so you get a double dose of me. You're welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to check this out. As always, you can reach out to me on Twitter, CFL_fan. That's how you can get a hold of me. Feel free to follow me on Twitter, Facebook.com/WittyWhittier and WittyWhittier.com. As always, I appreciate your time. My name is Keith, and I'll see you next week.